Hello everyone and welcome to Rob's Rogues, and today we're taking a look at the Justice League Shazam figure from DC Collectibles, and most importantly, depending on when you're watching this video, this will be the last figure I'm going to review for 2013. Not to say there won't be other content that'll come up on Rob's Rogues. I may have a best of video that I might shoot towards the end of the year. There's going to be a new Rogue show coming up, but as far as action figures go, after you see Shazam, I won't have any more up until after Christmas, as you know, Christmas is only 5 days away. It's the 20th, but if you're watching this video on March 19th, then Christmas is still a ways off. But anyway, I digress. It's kind of cool to get back to reviewing a Justice League figure, or basically a hero from this Justice League line, as we've been kind of in villain mode for the past few figures. I think 5 figures now? 4? Somewhere around there. So I was real excited to get this Shazam figure, and I'll compare him to the Mattel one in case anybody's curious, but I think I know which way I'm already leaning, but we'll get there. So here's a look of Shazam in package, and I am okay with him being called Shazam. When I was a kid, I thought his name was actually Shazam. It wasn't until I got a little older I realized that he was Captain Marvel, and to me that always sounded funny. Granted, I know that Captain Marvel, Shazam, was created before he was in the pages of DC Comics. The DC Comics actually bought the rights to Shazam, or Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel was kind of outselling Superman and Batman at the time, so DC kind of wanted them for themselves, and then they kind of sat on the character. So I like with the new 52, he's Shazam. I'm not going to get into all that. Maybe you disagree, maybe you agree, but it's nice to see the peel that's not all torn anymore from all the villains. And I like the bright red and gold. I believe this is the first figure from the line that Derek Miller has sculpted. Now, I'm sure somebody's going to correct me on that, but I'm pretty sure this is the first, at least in the Justice League line, that Derek Miller, now watch, I'm going to do my homework, and I'm going to go, whoops, actually, he did such and such, but I can't find all my boxes, so we're just going to say it's the first. The back of the box is the standard We Can Be Heroes Justice League 7-pack, or if you have them single-cardedly. Other figures are the Trinity War. Stu Murray 47 reviewed this Superman, and he looks like a beautiful, beautiful Superman. The box is a little dark right there, trying to get the light on it. And then Shazam at the top. We'll read the write-up here. From DC Comics, the new 52 and the pages of Justice League comes this action figure of Earth's mightiest mortal, based on the designs of comic superstar Gary Frank. It's a poor read-up. I think Black Adam had a little bit better read-up, but hey, there you go. The side panel art. Like I mentioned from Black Adam, I was pretty sure they were going to give a hooded version. Some of these side panel arts are really good. Obviously, this is not done by Jim Lee. It's kind of poor drawing a little bit. I mean, I like the silhouettes. I think they're cool, but I think the silhouette for Shazam could have and should have been a lot better. But hey, cool. It's just a box. So we will get this bad boy, Earth's mightiest mortal, out of the package, and we'll kind of do some comparisons with Black Adam and even his Mattel counterpart. So hold on a second, we will be right back. Alright, we've got Shazam out of package, and I absolutely love this figure. He is right up there with one of my favorites, and maybe one of my favorites out of the year. The metallic Batman that I recently reviewed, I really like that one, and this is going to be a really close second with some of the ones that I've already reviewed. Now, before I go into too much about the figure and me saying how much I absolutely love this figure, my figure does suffer from a few QC issues, and after pointing them out, somebody may go, oh gee, you still like this figure even with some of these flaws? Yes, I do. I know every manufacturer is going to have those little errors, and DC Collectibles for the most part has been pretty consistent on making their figures, and unlike with Mattel, excuse me as my voice is changing there, sometimes I feel I've spent more time looking at Mattel figures going, oh gee, you know, this is wrong, or this is painted wrong, or why'd they do this? I find myself kind of doing that less with DC Collectibles. But let's get into the bad first. I do have some paint. Actually, it looks like it's more glue here. Let me kind of zoom in to a lightning bolt. You can kind of see the discoloration in here. It looked really bad on both sides in the package. It looked like he was just really scuffed up, but I think it's some glue residue, although this one appears to be an actual scratch. Which kind of bums me out a little bit, and I'm sure this is just my figure, and I go, it's just my luck. A figure I've been really excited about, and I have a couple QC issues. So it looks like they just didn't get this part of the hood set right. As you can see, there's some bleed from the red and the gold that obviously probably got stuck to the metallic part of the red here in his costume, and then it was probably getting placed, or it slowly started to slide and run. So rather than fix the figure, they kind of packaged it like this. Now, I've seen a couple other reviews already in other people's pictures, and theirs look absolutely perfect. So I'm sure if you get one, yours will be a perfect looking one, but you know, that's kind of par for the course with some of it. You kind of see some red paint up there on the white, and that's always something that always scares me with a figure if it's got predominantly a lot of white, or there are big white sections, is it's really easy to get extra paint into the white areas where you don't want them. It's not totally noticeable from farther away. It's kind of one of those, now that I point it out, you can tell, but still, I still think this is really good. And the other QC issue, which is underneath, which you really won't see, but I'm going to show you anyway, is that there is some discoloration up under. You could see obviously the red from where this back portion probably wasn't cured, so you could see the discoloration of where the white part of the cape hit the back part. So yes, I'm glad that DC Collectibles does a good amount of detailing all the way through the figure so they don't chintz out on anything. And you're not going to see it, but it's one of those I know that it's there. And I have some separation in the cape. Now this is a quick fix, some super glue, and that's going to go back just fine. It's nothing that I'm going to, be slamming a fist down for DC Collectibles. Oh my gosh, you made an inferior product. You're going to have mistakes in a production line. Not everything can be exactly perfect every single time, so I'm a little forgiving of it. I just wish it wasn't my figure, but still, I'm okay with it. At first, I thought his legs were warped, like he doesn't stand perfect with both legs perfectly straight. But getting him with his leg back just a little bit, I think he's actually supposed to be standing this way, like he's getting ready to take a step forward, or he's just doing that heroic stance and kind of leaning forward just a little bit. I think that's really cool. You get this arm up here, do a motion like this, and I think that's pretty cool. So I believe this is the way he is supposed to be sculpted, and his feet are perfectly flat on the ground, so it's not like he had a warped leg and his foot is tipped up. With his leg in this position, it looks like he is supposed to stand that way because both of his legs, or both of his feet rather, are completely flat on the floor. So yes, I do have some issues, and they're kind of right up front of the figure, but even from being this far away, of course if we zoom in, you could probably see some of them, but he's still such a beautiful looking figure. So I'm sure if anybody else is kind of wanting to pick this guy up, don't worry about it. I'm sure yours is going to be in very good condition. Let's get on to the articulation. Basically the same articulation as Black Adam. I would say save for one, but it still works. The head does turn. Now, it does turn ever so slightly, but the hood's a nice soft. I kind of popped it back just a little bit. He does have hair, and he has a fully sculpted head. I heard somebody else online had actually unhooked this and pulled the hood back to see the head. So yes, the head does turn. It appears it's on a ball joint. There's not much up and down motion, but like you could tell right there, I was able to turn the head. So his head is not glued into the hood. So if I wanted to get his head to turn, I can. So kind of having to mess with his face there a little bit. The face sculpt I really like. It does appear that We'll get in here a little bit. Underneath his eye here, it looks like the paint may not have completely set just right. It kind of looks a little porous right there, but still a really nice looking face. They didn't do anything weird or wacky with it. So a little, I would almost say it's a little Superman-ish, but I think Superman has a little more rounded square jaw and his chin isn't as big. So I like it that DC Collectibles is making the figures look as individuals as they should be. The arms move nice and freely. You don't have to worry about the cape getting in the way. It's a nice ball and socket here. Much like Superman, his arms they're kind of puffed out a little bit, but he can get his arms in straight. Swivels at the bicep, bends at the elbow. He's still really kind of stiff here. It does turn at the wrist. No waist articulation at all. Legs go up really pretty far. This one's, so-so, but I think, again, because it's the way he is sculpted here. And bends at the knee and no ankle or boot articulation. Kind of sort of the same hand as Black Adam. Black Adam's fingers, I think, are open just a little bit more. But I just think this is a really, really good figure. I like it a lot. So what we're going to do, let's bring up his DC Collectibles counterpart and sing the song everybody knows. My hood is better than your hood. My hood is better than yours. So this is one of those times where we're getting a look at both of the figures, and I think you can kind of look at the DC Collectibles one and go, I think this one is really going to kind of win out here. Now, there's things on the Mattel version that I do like. The hood is not one of them. I don't think anybody really likes the hood. I had said it'd be nice if you could have the hood up and remove it, take it off. I like the Mattel one. You could take the hood off and leave it. I originally did like the lightning bolt here, this iridescent blue, but seeing the comics that the lightning bolt is supposed to be alive and move. I'd be kind of curious to look at some of the other DC Collectibles Shazam figures if each of the lightning bolts is a little bit different. I've got Black Adam here. His is just a little bit different than Shazam, so I think it's pretty cool. But again, you're looking at a Mattel figure versus a DC Collectibles figure, so you kind of see differences. Yes, the Mattel version is articulated very, very well, but there are two different styles of figures. One's an action figure, and yes, the DC Collectibles is an action figure, but I lean more towards the statue that does have some articulation. And DC Collectibles is making some, leaps and bounds in their figures with articulation, but if they would have put an ab crunch in here, I can see where DC Collectibles said it's going to detract a little bit from the sculpt, and you can kind of see it suffer here a little bit in the Mattel. Before I was like, oh, this is really good, but seeing them together, looking at the waist here, it's kind of broken up, and the top portion of the waist looks a little bit smaller than the lower part of the waist. Where here he kind of looks a little bit normal. You see that everything looks basically the same throughout. I think DC Collectibles did a wonderful job on the cape. Mattel's cape is pretty good, but it's just a standard piece, and you can kind of see the concaveness of this cape where it's kind of dented in. That always kind of bothered me a little bit. I am glad to have them both. But if I was getting one, I'd probably go with the DC Collectibles one. But having the DC UC shelf and ODC graciously sent me this one, so that I love to have both Shazams. I have two different shelves with two different feelings with them, if you will. So I think it's pretty cool to have both of them. And here we are having Black Adam and Shazam on a shelf at the same time, and to be paired up properly. Even having Black Adam's foot tipped up a little bit, he's still able to stand really well on that one foot, and he's not leaning as bad as initially. Got to get this leg tipped back a little bit, but he can stand up pretty good with me tapping on the table here. So I am completely happy with this Shazam. I know I said completely. Yes, I have some QC issues, but if those issues weren't here, I would have a perfect figure. And I'm sure somebody else out there, maybe even you, does have a perfectly painted Shazam. And just in sculpting alone, I like this sculpting way much more than the Mattel figure. Again, I love doing this segment, but this is a segment I like to call Darkseid saying, "Here, let me lend you a hand." All right, here we are. Shazam is in place amongst the other Justice League members and villains on my very crowded shelf. I do have some angled shelves that I do want to put up here that'll go in this corner over here. That'll come out of the wall that maybe I'll put some of the villains and others, maybe other people on. But we'll kind of get a look here. Apologize for the light. I don't have lights set up on the top of my shelf yet, but you can see all of the Justice League figures, and there is the new Batman. Love this figure. With the Damian Robin, which is a figure people are really hoping gets re-released, or maybe he'll get made new in the Capullo series. Maybe we'll get another Damian figure, but if you have the money, this is definite pickup. I picked him up when he first came out, so he only cost me like $18, but I won't rub it in anybody's face. There is Cyborg and Wonder Woman back there, Captain Cold and the Flash, New 52 Joker, love that figure as well. Again, Batman and Robin. We have Wonder Woman, Black Adam, and Shazam. Then we have Superman back there. We have Green Arrow, another favorite figure of mine, and Deathstroke. The Green Lantern in the back. Martian Manhunter, the very short Darkseid, and then Aquaman and Black Manta. So, as you can tell, this is my Justice League and villains setup so far. Like I said, I'm probably just going to be cherry picking a few here or there. You know, I'm missing the Simon Baz figure and Katana and Vibe. So, and Catwoman as well. So if I found some of those, maybe I might pick them up. But I'm very happy with the ones that I have here. And of course, if anybody's wondering, this is the Young Justice Hall of Justice for the 3 3/4 figures. It was a collect and connect, which was a pain. Surprisingly, it was made by Mattel, so it was hard getting the last couple figures to complete it. But with this particular setup, I think they look great here. I'm thinking about maybe just putting them on straight, maybe putting the villains off to the side, up on their own little shelf, with having just the Justice League members up in the front. But I thought I'd give you a chance to kind of see my collection so far, the DC Collectibles, New 52 figures. I absolutely love this line, and keep hoping for more great figures. Thank you for watching Rob's Rogues in 2013. Like I said, this is going to be the last official action figure review for 2013. I will have probably a couple other videos right up until about the end of the year, and then I'll have the end of the year announcements and, you know, all that type of stuff. But today we've been primarily, let's see if we can get in here. Maybe. Can we? We've been taking a look at Shazam from the Justice League DC Collectibles New 52 action figure. And as always, this is Rob for Rob's Rogues signing off and saying, we will see you guys in 2014. See you next year.